It's like my worst nightmare, like the Democratic Party becoming like the Bush era Republican Party, and then you have the Trump Party. So who do we support?
Yeah, look, I'm conflicted in this sense. I'm not conflicted in this election. That to me, it's obvious. Trump's a madman, wanted to terminate the Constitution, attacked America. It's not close.
Anna Kasparian, after recently announcing she is leaving the woke left, is now going full scorched earth on Kamala Harris and the woke left and Cenk Uygur, who is sitting right next to her in this video. Anna Kasparian absolutely goes in on Kamala Harris and this dumb, absolutely ridiculously dumb campaign move made by Kamala Harris and the woke left. Let's get into this clip here from the Young Turks, where Anna Kasparian once again destroys Kamala Harris and the woke left.
Cheney have endorsed you. What do you think? I'm honored to have their endorsement, and I think that what they both, as leaders who are well respected, are making an important statement that it's okay and if not important to put country above party.
In fact, Democratic presidential nominee Kamala Harris is so honored to be endorsed by Liz Cheney and her war criminal father Dick that she campaigned alongside them today in the great state of Wisconsin. Now, the campaign stop took place in Ripon, Wisconsin, which is apparently known as the birthplace of the Republican Party. Ripon is home to a tiny schoolhouse that actually hosted the first meetings that launched the Republican Party back in 1854. Now, Harris is expected to use the joint appearance to address the symbolism of the location, to appeal to independents and Republicans, and praise Cheney for her political courage in essentially standing up to Donald Trump, which ended up getting her ousted as a congresswoman. But it gets worse. The Harris campaign has been quietly courting well-known GOP backers, such as Cheney, looking to attract Republicans disillusioned with former President Donald Trump, especially after his efforts to reverse his 2020 re-election loss. And just as a reminder, there are plenty of Republicans, both neocons and former Trump administration officials, who have endorsed Kamala Harris. That includes Jeff Flake, Adam Kinzinger, former Lieutenant Governor Jeff Duncan, former Trump White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson. In fact, she's been making the rounds, doing interviews about it recently. Let's take a quick look at what she had to say.
I didn't believe in every single one of his policies. I knew that he had a temper, but I believe that he was authentic in his care for the American people. The shift between believing that wholeheartedly and seeing how quickly he devolved into madness and complete chaos to assuage his injured pride, how willing he was to throw people under the bus and completely throw away any principles that he had in pursuit of power.
People like this are so obviously sold out. Like this, I don't even know who the hell this is, I'll be honest with you, but whoever this is completely sold out to somebody. They're getting paid by somebody, because this is just a blatant lie. Like this is just an absolute lie. I'm not even talking about the actual substance of what she's saying, which is also a lie. But the main lie being Trump is a whole lot more tame today than he was back in 2016. So if you supported him in 2016, and now you're currently saying that, oh, I'm abandoning Donald Trump and I'm supporting Kamala Harris, I'm endorsing Kamala Harris because Trump has just gotten too out of hand nowadays. Dude, he is way more tame than he was in 2016 right now. Actually, there's a ton of his supporters who are pissed off at how tame he is, how soft he's becoming. He's way more chill than he was back in 2016. So this is a lie. This is somebody who's paid off.
That's not what leadership is. So I think looking at all of this, out of all the lessons that this has taught me, it's taught me that we are stronger when we are united, that we are stronger when we're not looking at our nation as an us versus them mindset, as Donald Trump likes to propagate. He does that because he thrives on fear, and he needs the fear and control in order to keep people in his realm and supporting him. But a divided nation cannot stand.
If you enjoy content like this, then make sure you leave a like and subscribe to the channel. It really does help me out a ton. Let's get back to the video.
I'm a fan of unity. There are limits to everything, though, and I'm not sure how comfortable I am uniting, Democrats uniting with the likes of neocons like Liz Cheney and her aptly named father, Dick. Look, I'm concerned about the influence this has on the Democratic Party. I became involved and engaged in politics, right before the 2003 preemptive strike on Iraq. And these are the types of people who supported and were cheerleaders for that war, which was absolutely devastating and didn't accomplish much, or anything. And so I don't know what to say, Jay, because it's like my worst nightmare. Like the Democratic Party becoming like the Bush era Republican Party, and then you have the Trump Party. So who do we support?
Yeah, look, I'm conflicted in this sense. I'm not conflicted in this election. That to me, it's obvious. Trump's a madman, wanted to terminate the Constitution, attacked America. It's not close. Having said that, until January 6th, where he did all of the worst things, he was a terrible president and a terrible human being. But George Bush and Dick Cheney were clearly worse. So now Nicole Wallace is the communications director for George Bush. She's one of the lead anchors on MSNBC. Now Liz and Dick Cheney are on the Democratic side. Today on CNN, they were yelling at John Bolton and asking him, why didn't you endorse Kamala Harris? I don't want John Bolton in our party. Are you crazy?
Please don't.
Please don't. Thank God he's not endorsing her. I don't want his vote. I don't want anything to do with John Bolton. So these neocons are the worst people on earth. Dick Cheney got hundreds of thousands of innocent people killed in Iraq, let alone our troops, let alone all of our money wasted. It's one of the most unpopular politicians of our lifetimes. So I feel like that Penzi employee in that video we showed you, where Kamala Harris was in the shop and they asked at the beginning of this segment, and she's like, I'm proud to have Dick Cheney's endorsement. And the employee's like, oh, I might be reading too much into her eye, her body language and her, but it looked like an eye roll, like she seemed uncomfortable. Yeah. And I'm super uncomfortable having these monsters, not only on the Democratic side, but for our candidates to be so proud of it and to be campaigning with them.
I think there's a good possibility that if Kamala Harris gets elected, she mentioned multiple times now that she plans on appointing a Republican into her cabinet. I think it's probably going to be Liz Cheney.
No. Look, I'll tell you this much right now. So first of all, are there Republicans you could put in your cabinet? Yeah, a bunch of Republicans proved to be patriots, like Jeff Duncan in Georgia, when we might disagree with him on those social issues and many other issues, right? He's one of the guys who spoke at the DNC, but he drew the line on cheating for Trump and overthrowing our democracy, and that's brave. And
how do they say this with such confidence? It's just so crazy, man. Like, it's so sad that. Honestly, it's so sad that Anna Kasparian is stuck at the Young Turks and she's still getting this brainwashing from Cenk Uygur and from these people. Because when you say something with such conviction like that, and it's not even like he's saying it in like a preacher, like how a preacher would say something with conviction with a lot of umph in his words. He's saying it so nonchalantly that it just makes you think, oh yeah, yep, Trump, tried to overthrow the Constitution. Yep. It's like, no, he didn't, dude. I don't know how you can say that so nonchalantly and with such confidence. When did Trump try to overthrow the Constitution? Like, what the hell are you talking about? I don't even think overthrow was the word he used. It was like he tried to just delete it from existence. And he's trying to overthrow the government, overthrow democracy. We all know the talking points. It's just crazy how they can still say that stuff with such conviction. And at the same time, Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur are just going after Kamala Harris. They're also saying it's clear who I'm voting for in this next election. How are you? I don't understand, man. If they would just stop giving into the brainwashing that is coming from the mainstream media and coming from their own side, the woke left that they are a part of. Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur both played a big part in that. They would stop giving into that. They would see very clearly that the clear option here is Donald Trump if you want actually the best for the country. But I don't think they want that. I don't think Cenk Uygur especially wants that. Anna Kasparian, she's kind of coming over to the good side a little bit. She said that she's leaving the left, but she's still voting Kamala Harris. And it's like, how? If you actually want the best for the country, all you have to do is zoom out and look at what Kamala Harris has done for the country in the last 4 years. It's been awful. And I think she was running the country as much as Joe Biden was, possibly even more. I mean, Joe Biden wasn't even there. He's not even present. He wasn't back in 2020. He's not now. And they voted for him anyway because it's not Donald Trump. That's the only thing that they have. And that's why I've said this before. I'll say it again. I think when Donald Trump is no longer eligible to run for president or just decides to not run anymore, I think it's going to be the best thing that can happen for the Republican Party. Because, and I know people are going to get so mad at me saying that, but all they have to run on right now, like if Anna Kasparian, she would vote for the Republican here if it wasn't Donald Trump. I fully believe that. I don't think she would vote for Kamala Harris. I think Cenk Uygur is just so inundated. He's so ingrained in the woke left. Cenk is always going to vote Democrat, no matter what. I think Anna Kasparian would vote Republican if it wasn't Donald Trump. I think a lot of people would vote Republican if it wasn't Donald Trump. And they're going to try to do the same thing. They're going to try to demonize whoever the Republican candidate is. And they're never going to actually run on policy. The Democrats will always run on, hey, we are not this guy. This guy is trying to overthrow democracy and cheat in the next election. They're always going to run on that and never their actual own policies. I don't think it's going to work as well on someone like Vivek Ramaswamy. Like whenever he's the Republican nominee, I don't think it's going to work as well on him. You know, I don't. I think he will probably get Anna Kasparian's vote and a lot of other people's votes as well. So I think the best thing for the Republican Party is Donald Trump not running anymore and a new face coming in. Because when they try to demonize that new face, people are just going to be like, we're not falling for this again. Like we fell for it with Donald Trump, but it's not like every single Republican nominee ever is going to be racist, sexist, misogynistic, homophobic, all this stuff every time. Like really? Are they all trying to overthrow democracy? Every single Republican nominee? Every single one? There's no way people are that stupid, right, to actually believe that. Anyway, let me know in the comments what you think about Anna Kasparian and Cenk Uygur had to say about Kamala Harris and the big mistake she's making by, accepting the endorsement from Liz Cheney and Dick Cheney and basically campaigning with them. Let me know in the comments what you think about Cenk Uygur and Anna Kasparian destroying Kamala Harris for her big campaign mistake.